Welcome to That's Why We're Friends.
The podcast where we laugh a lot, talk about real life, and hold on to faith through it all.
We're two friends navigating the oldish season of life and celebrating the kind of friendships that make it all a little easier.
So whether you're feeling overwhelmed, hopeful, or just need a laugh, this podcast is for you.
Pull up a chair and join the conversation.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Kara.
How's it going?
There's kind of a lot happening right now in this moment. So for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you're already aware something is different. If you're just listening, you don't know anything is different yet. Someone just waved at the camera.
It's been such a difficult setup for today's podcast.
Different. Like. It's it's flashbacks to like day one.
Kind of, yeah. PTSD.
Yeah,
from podcast episode number 1 for sure. Yeah.
So for the first time ever, 2 things are happening.
That's right.
There are 4 of us.
There are 4
instead of 3 of us.
Yes.
And then also for the first time happening,
we have men.
Men
on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. It may be the last, but we'll see what happens today.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Or the first of many.
Maybe. So we decided that it would be super fun for Christmas time to have our husbands on the show.
Yes, why not?
To let everybody get to know you guys as well as knowing us. Yeah, what could go wrong? So many things. So we're super excited, actually. Yeah. We're very excited to have you guys on. And we are thrilled that you would take time out of your day to join us, to be with us, when you could be doing something, I'm sure, so much more productive.
Yes. And to commemorate the day, because it was a big deal, we decided to do something, each of us.
Yeah, we did.
For our husbands.
That's right. We did want something that would be memorable for y'all from today. Mm-hmm. We definitely wanted this to be a moment in time that would just sort of be a marker stone moving forward.
Yeah.
So we've decided that we want to reveal to you our new tattoos. We got tattoos, not really matching tattoos.
No, not really.
No, you are gonna pull your sleeve up, but I'm gonna have to take my
I like that.
I like it.
Very nice.
So we each. Paul's head is a lot bigger than Jeff's head. Look how big his head is. So if you're listening,
that would not be true.
That is so true.
If you're listening on the podcast players, you might want to go to YouTube because
we got face tattoos of our husbands.
We did. We decided that would be nice on our big old guns.
That's right.
We got these big biceps that we wanted to show off with our husbands' faces on there.
You know, if you flex, it'll make me laugh.
No, I don't think that's right.
Mine
but
definitely doesn't.
I'm gonna keep that there for days to come, so you can.
Wonderful.
Until it becomes permanent, maybe
Jeff,
one day.
I could see the fear in Jeff's eyes. He actually thought that I went and got a matching tattoo
I
with
was
you.
just like, I'm being recorded right now. Hold it in. We'll have this conversation later.
That's great. Well, we are going to let you guys introduce yourselves. So,
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Jeff.
Well done.
Glad you could join us today.
Glad to be
You
here.
go ahead, Paul. Tell us about yourself.
So, how much detail do you want me to go into?
I want to know who you're married to, what kids you have,
Just for
all
clarification.
the things.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
someone who
Paul.
doesn't know you.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Paul Chappell, Sarah's husband. We've been married 10 years. We have 3 awesome kids together. Oldest Caleb is 23. We have a 22-year-old daughter, Riley, and we have a about to be 20-year-old daughter, Remy, is our youngest. So we are officially empty nesters, which is the best season of life.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so we're very excited about that. We love our kids, but we're very excited that they have grown and ventured out to kind of do their own thing. So, so we're just really enjoying that right now.
Yeah.
What do you do for work? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, I'm an IT consultant, so I could explain it, but it's very, very long. So the best answer is to say I'm in IT, which is a very broad answer. But if I give you the specifics, then I think everybody here is going to fall asleep.
Yeah,
So we don't
yeah.
want that.
Well, we got to keep this, within a listening amount of time.
Yes.
Like what's reasonable for listening to it.
Yes. So
What do you do for fun? Like what's a hobby or something you enjoy doing in your spare time?
Well, right now it's football season. So yeah, we're not watching college football right now, which means that's how much we actually love you both. But I love to hunt, which is something Jeff and I have in common.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I'm most passionate about is hunting, just being outside when I can. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. Jeffrey?
Jeff Price, and married to Kara. We've been married 31 years as of this past Wednesday was our 31st wedding anniversary. Thank you very much. We have 2 children. So Connor is married, and they have a little girl, Lacey, our first grandchild, and she is now 17 months old, almost 18 months old. Coming up on her second Christmas, really I think the first Christmas she'll have a little bit of memory of, just given her age.
She's really smart.
Yeah, she is. She says Papa.
That's valid.
And that was, we had a week or so ago, she spent the night with us, and just to have her run up to you and hug you and call you Papa, call you by your name and recognize you is really a sweet season.
Some of us don't know what that feels like.
I know, because Kara
she knows
chose,
your name, she just can't
does.
say it yet.
Exactly.
I know.
GR is hard.
Yes,
Yes,
someone
I know.
chose a very hard grandmother name, which is Grammy, and I love the it's
She's
a wonderful
gonna get
name.
it, and
She'll
it's
get
gonna
it
be great.
eventually. She'll be 21, but
Oh.
that's okay. She'll be there soon enough as it is. But Papa is definitely her favorite word to say. But and then we have a daughter, Catherine, and all of our kids graduated Baylor. Catherine works at Valley Creek Church in Flower Mound, the church that we all go to, and she is just loving. She said the other day she just loves going to work every single day, and so that's what you want for your children is to be able to raise them, launch them. They do not boomerang back. We have no boomerang policy because we do love our empty nest life. It is the best. As Paul mentioned, the best season of life. Professionally, I've been with Merrill Lynch now for almost 31 years and have managed money, portfolio manager, financial planner for 36 years now.
Wow.
And so love what I do, have built a phenomenal team. And so we're just blessed to be able to work with some wonderful clients and work with a great team as well.
Cool.
And what about your spare time?
Oh, spare time. So I would say spare time is going to be family, then Baylor, all things Baylor, as y'all have talked about on many podcasts, as Kara talks about what she's going to do for the weekend. It typically
Football
revolves.
season is coming to a close.
Football season's coming to a
Well, it's really
close,
closed
but
already,
then
so-
basketball season
Yeah.
is now upon us, and so anything Baylor related, sports related, we try to be down there. And then hunting is another just a passion of mine as well. I love the fall. I love the outdoors and getting outside, and then I would say travel as well. So.
So
That's great.
Yeah. So on our very first episode, one of the things we enjoyed, kind of talking about and laughing about was kind of the story, not story, really, of how we met, of just the timeline of not really remembering or knowing. So we wanted to give you guys an opportunity from your perspective of how you guys met or how we all met and kind of what that experience was for you guys. How do you guys remember that?
Paul has so many thoughts.
Well, I knew of Jeff for a long time, honestly, but it was kind of the funny thing because Jeff was the guy that everybody knew that sat in the front of the church, but nobody knew who he was. I knew his name. I knew of him.
They just put him there because he looked
Through
like
various
he'd be vicious
people.
if somebody came up
But
and
he-
tried to hurt the pastor.
He was the one that, I didn't know if he was part of the safety team but he was always in the same spot. But then I noticed there was no seat cover, so I just figured maybe he bought the seat. He owned the seat. I don't know.
They're like box seats, you buy them.
But in seriousness, I did know about him because we hunt, and I knew he hunted on the same property that I hunted. He just before me. So I knew some of the guys that were there, so I had heard his name. So I knew of him at church. But actually, I knew you first.
Really?
Yeah, because we met because there was a season where we knew an elderly gentleman.
That's right. Yeah.
And he was going through a tough season, and I was trying to encourage him and love on him, so I kind of befriended him. And you knew him first.
Yeah, I knew him through his kids.
Yeah, and so I would go talk to you and kind of find out
Paul
details.
Paul and I were friends before you and I were friends.
Out. That's crazy.
That's amazing. That's why we're friends.
Yeah, that's right. So technically, I knew Kara first because she actually talked.
To set the record straight, I am an introvert, and
Paul's an introvert too.
I understand, but I have to shift it in gear, and I do a lot of peopling throughout the week, and so on Sundays I usually have limitations on how much peopling I can do.
That's real.
Just you and Jesus?
Yeah, no, that's
real.
it's real. I'm just being honest, because that's what we do on this podcast.
That's what we do.
We were going to be honest and transparent. So no, I do. I come in and I'm just kind of focused, and I am not as social. That's just not my natural instinct. I can shift it in gear and publicly speak and engage. Obviously, I have to engage people from a work perspective, but when I'm there, it's not. My first memory is really when we went through shepherd training. So our church has an elder structure, but we also have shepherds, and the shepherds work with campus pastors to do a lot of the shepherding, kind of the heavy lifting, if you will. And we had gone through a training together. That was the first time I really got to know Paul. So same thing, I knew of him, but didn't know him. I kind of knew of y'all's story and how you met, but really didn't know y'all until that shepherding period. And then we hosted, I think, a dinner or something here as well at the house that y'all, was for that shepherd group that y'all
Christmas
came as
dinner,
well,
right?
the Christmas time. And then that's really where the relationship, and from my perspective as couples, went deeper and really started to go know each other. We placed a wager on Baylor Texas Tech game,
which has
Baylor
never been.
Baylor won.
No, yes, it did.
And
we bought y'all dinner the night that we were going to George Strait.
Yes.
He technically wasn't
That's
there.
That's right.
but
That's right.
we
That's
got
right.
it.
Yes,
Okay.
y'all did.
Okay.
Yeah. At
to
Lonesome
sing that
Dove. Lonesome Dove. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
we
true.
did. So that was another kindred spirit of Baylor beating Tech, and which is obviously Baylor's our alma mater. Tech is Sarah's.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're going to go there this season.
I know, but we don't play each other this year.
Right,
so,
but
but
how's
that's okay.
the season going?
We're not playing today, so
The season, not
yes,
the day.
I know. I take one day at a time
We
with this team.
Baylor this year is
You open the
definitely-
door. I will gladly walk through
The basketball has
This
started,
year.
Jeff.
The
so-
basketball has started.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
get your guns up. Tech's doing well.
So-
Okay, we'll keep it friendly.
Yeah. So I'm curious, whenever we started almost a year ago, discussing this podcast, it was sort of just a funny idea. We were all four out on a walk at our ranch the week between Christmas and New Year's, and we were talking about it. I mean, did you guys think that we were just being crazy? Did you think this was going to become a real thing? And what were your thoughts as the year unfolded, as we began to really talk about this being real?
So as a kid of the 80s, 70s and 80s, I used to watch, in black and white actually, I Love Lucy. Do you remember I Love Lucy? Yeah. So the first thing that came to mind was
have to watch this on YouTube.
You really do. You have to, I'm really dating myself, but born in the 70s, child of the late 70s and 80s, I Love Lucy. Ricky Ricardo would always say Lucy, and that was internally, that was my thought bubble. Kara, seriously, what are we doing here again? And so Lucy just had this tendency to just get herself in a little bit of mischief and take on new activities. So that was my thought bubble that Kara knows how to read well.
Because your face doesn't hide anything.
It doesn't. It was like the tattoo. My face was saying like, oh, I'm excited, but what in the world is going on here? So then it shifted. And I think this will come probably up more in another topic here in our conversation today. But when I think about like our seasons of life, for my whole career, Kara has been my cheerleader. She has been the person in the background that has been an integral part of the success we've had from a business perspective. Even though she's never worked a day in her life at the firm, she's an integral part of it. And so now, as seasons change, that I looked at this as an opportunity to say, hey, how can I be the cheerleader for her? And it's almost like whereas I've been, say, call it the face of the family publicly, this is an opportunity for me to take a back seat and allow her to be the face of the family publicly, in really being able to chase a dream that God has given her and God has given y'all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Babe.
It's good. I didn't realize it was at the ranch. Now I remember that weekend well, but I think maybe for me it was different because I knew that Sarah already had a desire on her heart for something like that. She kind of had a vision of that a while, I don't even remember how many years ago it was. And so we met with an elder couple from our church, and she was kind of processing. They do a podcast. I think Suzanne was a guest on the podcast. And so we had thought about maybe doing it together. I would admit my heart wasn't like in it, but it was more for her. Mm-hmm. Like I wanted to be in it for her, but I think I knew that she kind of always had that in her. It's just her wiring. She's very creative and she's very theatrical, and I think that just seemed like a natural fit to me. But I
have a shocked face right now, everyone.
Are you going to break out in song?
Well, that's why I think people need to watch this on YouTube, because our faces with everything these boys are saying are like, what?
And the other thing that I thought was fantastic was I know your conversations together because I hear the thing, and I thought you thought this is gonna be trouble, and I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. And so I just can't wait to see what you two say when you're together, and be able to capture that on audio and video. So I thought it was really cool. I think my heart for Sarah has always been, we have 3 kids. They're not. She didn't give birth to the kids, but she's committed her life to raising these kids. So she spent seasons not working, or maybe doing part-time jobs and things like that so that she could be available, because my job is demanding and running a consulting firm and all those things. And she sacrificed that. And so I knew that she had a desire, and she had she wanted to do something. She had purpose in her life, and she wanted to do something. And so I think in this next stage, empty nesting in the same way, it's like, okay, I can kind of regress a little bit. And, we've been focused on my company and, our kids, and she can really kind of focus on what God created her to do. And so I think that for me, it's just awesome because she's stepping into all these new seasons of life with graduate school and with this, and so I just think it's really cool. I love to just sit back and see her kind of like venture out. It's actually inspired me a lot. It could have kind of one of the expressions that we talk about is biblical, is young men have visions and old men dream dreams, is to not stop dreaming when you get older. And so she's kind of a testament to that as we get oldish, that she's still dreaming. And so I'm just really proud of both of you for venturing out and saying, hey, we raised kids and they're off and they're empty nesters, but we're not dead and we've got things to do. Well, a lot of people act as if they are dead, even though it's like their life is over and they've stopped. And you both said, no, we've got stuff to do. And so I think that's just really cool. Plus, you can become the breadwinners, and Jeff and I can just sit back and
only if both of your companies become
flow down to
sponsors. Yeah.
Platinum. We do have openings for platinum sponsorships, so we just want to,
Today's episode is brought to you by. can do voiceovers too. So this is the
you can say it. You can finish that sentence, but it'll cost you.
It'll cost you. So that becomes my challenge, because when I embrace dreams, I encourage it, but then my mind, how it's built, I go into how are we going to monetize this, and that becomes the little bit of the conversation that we've had is dream. And then breaking things into categories. I look at it like, okay, is this a ministry? Is it like a nonprofit? Is this a business? Then how are we going to monetize it? And when's our ROI going to kick in? So all of those things, and those are the things that I have to try to die to let this be a journey that y'all are on ultimately with God. That God, if God gave you the dream, then go on a journey with God and let the ROI, it'll take care of itself in God's timing. But that's
Mm-hmm.
hard for me and just how I'm wired and built from a business perspective.
Sure.
So it's dream a dream and go execute on the dream, and then just see what God does from there.
See, I have the same thing, but for me, it's like, what's your technology stack? Is it going to be in the cloud? Is it going to be on-prem? Same issues,
And you
different
just
flavor.
decided now, after all the technology issues we've had, to step in with your technology knowledge?
I applaud you, Kara, for all your IT expertise that you've
I've had no expertise at all. Our IT department's about to be fired.
Paul is now on speed dial for IT help.
Actually, Paul, we have an opening for an IT person.
That's how it is. When you're in IT,
It's pro bono.
Yeah.
You're on speed dial.
Actually,
all
you need
family
to-
members, friends. Hey, my computer doesn't work. Can you fix it?
You can intern. You can intern for the ladies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
We're now taking applications for interns.
Yes, unpaid internships.
Yes.
That would be an interesting endeavor.
Yeah, well, I would let you.
And maybe a little oldish for internship. But,
Oh no, there was a whole movie about that
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
called The Intern.
Internship.
And no, that one was the intern. Internship is the
Yeah.
one I've laughed about with you.
this,
Okay.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking
Okay, so it is. We're moving into that Christmas season. So as we kind of transition into different topics, we did want to find out from you guys, what are your favorite Christmas memories?
I'll go. I'm very much a family person, and so I would like spending time with family, birthdays, holidays, stuff like that is super important. But honestly, my favorite memory from Christmas is the two of us went to New York City for Christmas, and so that was really special. I actually this morning I was just sitting time with the Lord, and I do research on biblical stuff on my iPad, and so the photo stuff started coming up, and so I went back and I was looking at some of the photos and stuff that we went to New York City pre-COVID, and so that was just that was a neat Christmas. It was over the holidays. It was beautiful, and we got to do carriage ride in Central Park at night, and all the things, and Rockefeller, and so that was definitely my best Christmas memory. You don't have to cry.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. It's good.
Poor Sarah, the tears just well up. She can't
Nope.
help it.
I know.
I'm good.
So I put mine kind of in three categories of memories. So the first memory, and the reason I thought of this one was because it was a conversation I was having with some members of my leadership team this week, and we were talking about some year-end bonuses and compensation. And one of the things I've always done is I've always given a financial gift at Christmas time, and someone mentioned in this conversation about, if we pay it at this time, they'll get it, at the beginning of next year. And I said, no. I said, I want them to receive it before. And I said, let me explain why. I said, when I was a kid, we grew up with nothing, grew up very poor. And my mom's boss would give her a Christmas bonus. And that our Christmas was dependent upon that bonus, and that it meant that much. And so when your parents sacrifice everything just so you could have a gift or two at Christmas, that's the first thing that comes to mind, is the sacrificial love that as a child you don't fully understand. Because as a child you say, I'm only getting this, but I see all these other people. It's this big comparison trap that happens. that as you mature, you understand how much of a sacrifice that it was. So I think about that. Then I think about when we had kids, the nights of staying up on Christmas Eve. Kara, it's interesting when you a family, you come together. Like I had traditions as my family, she had traditions as her family, and so we had to put those together and come up with our own traditions. And so having like gifts ready to go, like Santa delivered them. Mm-hmm. Santa is real, kids. But putting them together in Santa's workshop, Christmas Eve night, and staying up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. By the way, I hate, that's with a capital H, putting things together. Like IKEA, never shop at IKEA. Sorry if they're going to be a sponsor, but I would not.
Now they're not.
Yeah, because
we were just in talks with them this week.
But putting those things together would drive me insane because it's inevitable. Like here you are, Christmas Eve, you're putting this stuff together and something's missing or you didn't have batteries, and it's just like, okay. So that sounds like a bad memory, but it's actually a really good memory because then your kids, they come downstairs and their faces are bright and cheery on Christmas morning. And then the same vein is like now again seeing it through your granddaughter's eyes as well. And then the third one is food. Like I love food. I love to cook. And so making the desserts is my passion. And so now as Catherine, our daughter, is older, or even as a child, she and I would make pumpkin pie together. Aww. And so we do this at Thanksgiving, but we also do it at Christmas, and pecan pie. So I love to make the desserts and help with the food preparation at Christmas as well.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned food because we hadn't mentioned it yet, and it's almost become a thing where we have to talk about food every single podcast episode because that is something that I think the four of us do have in common, which is a great part of our relationship, is that we all do enjoy food and having a nice meal together.
Did you eat today? Is that what y'all say?
No, did you eat today?
It's like you ate? Is that what you say?
Oh, you ate.
You ate. Yes.
Ate.
As the youngins say.
Yes, well done.
See, I listen to y'all's
podcast.
and
that's what's very sweet.
Do.
I do think every week our husbands are like, great podcast episode. You guys listen every week, and it means a lot to us.
Yes, we do appreciate the feedback.
We definitely do. So as we think about marriage, we had you guys on, because we're married to you.
That's the only reason why.
Kind of is the only reason why.
Yeah. If we were going to have guys on, would you prefer we have other guys that we weren't married to on? Like,
I mean, this is a podcast for women.
Yes.
Oldish women.
That might be married.
What? Okay. Mm-hmm. We're going to move forward with seriousness. What are your favorite things about marriage, and what is your hardest thing about marriage?
I'm going to go first.
Jeff has been waiting on this one.
I've been waiting on this one.
And again, if you're not watching on YouTube,
I'm ready.
And if you are watching on YouTube, you notice his note cards.
Yes.
Jeff has note cards.
And what are the rest of those about? Like a stack of about marriage, about me?
Oh, I got like all kinds of stuff, just in case, in case we had some extra time and you wanted to create some B-reel or something. I have a lot of content. B-roll, excuse me. I'm still getting this podcast lingo down. Okay, so right off the bat, unlimited sex. Can I say that on this podcast?
Apparently.
All right.
Apparently.
No, I would say, I say that a little tongue-in-cheek to get a little expression from my wife and a little, she elbowed me there.
I couldn't do that. I would hit my mic.
I know.
You did that just because the
how unlimited. Paul said how unlimited.
Yeah, well, hey, check your calendars, kids. No, I would say, so let me try to answer this question. I'm going to tell you a story. And marriage, I think when you're young and you get married, you really have I had a broken thought process of really what marriage was versus where it's at today. And I believe it's in the heart of life that it really begins to put it in perspective of what marriage should be. And so yesterday I'm with a client, longtime client. I've known him for probably 20 years. And his wife was just diagnosed with cancer a few weeks ago. And he was telling me, he said, I'd stayed up with her at the hospital, and I went home at like around 11 o'clock. And he said, I went into her closet, and she had her clothes, hung up. And he said, I put my arms around her clothes because I just wanted to smell her. And he said, I just broke down. And I thought when he was talking, when he was saying that, it's like, number one, to me, like that's the definition of love. It's just that I want to be so close to anything that even just has her aroma that I want to hug it and be with it. And then the other thought process that I had when he was talking is that why is it that it takes the heart of life for us to really get to that point of understanding truly what love is and what marriage is? We think it's like all fun and giggles, but it's again where you really find the face of God is in the heart of life, and where you really understand the true definition of love is it. Yes, there's all the fun things that you do, but really where you see it, it's in the heart of life. It's putting your arms around those clothes at a desperate point because all you want to do is to be close to them and to smell them.
Wow. Well said.
Paul? Not sure where our Kleenex box is.
No, we did not think this through.
No.
Yeah, I think the the hard part, I think for me, the Bible says that husbands are supposed to love their wives like Christ loves the church. And so us being the church and knowing how well Christ loves us, how well he loves me, and that being the standard as a husband for Sarah, that's hard. Like, that's not an easy ask. That's the highest bar. The Bible says that God is love. And so if he's love, and I'm supposed to love you the way that he is, that's a tall order, but it's my pursuit. It's the thing that I was created to do as a husband, is to say, okay, it's not about me. It's about dying to my flesh. It's not about what I need. It's not about what I want. It's not what I think, what I know, of dying to that, dying to all those things in order to be able to love my wife the way that God loves me. And so in order for me to do that, I have to constantly go to God and say, okay, God, how do you do that? How do you love me when I'm completely unfaithful, unwrong, and you still love me so well, unconditionally, sacrificially? And so in order to be able to do that, I have to be with God as much as possible so that he rubs off on me, so that I can actually start to become the person that he says I'm supposed to become. And so it's just, I thought about that, and it's not an easy thing to do, but it's like Paul said, I'm going to finish the race. And so I'm going to finish the race. So as long as I'm here, one of my primary pursuits, my mission in life, is to love her with everything that I have. And so even though it's hard, it's my ambition in life and it's my goal. And so that's what I've set out to do.
Yeah, that's good.
Let me pull on that string a little bit. One of the things that I wrote down on my trusty note cards here, so I wouldn't forget anything, is, to love someone is to be vulnerable from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And that's not something that I walked into a marriage thinking that I needed to do or wanted to do, was to be vulnerable. I would say that vulnerability is actually something that I hide. Like, I don't want to be vulnerable. I want to be Teflon. I want to be strong. I don't want to share because I don't want her to worry, or whatever excuse you want to come up with. But ultimately, my head is like a bunch of Chester drawers, in that I've historically have always taken vulnerability and shut that drawer. And so just like the story of this client that I was sharing, that in our season of hard, and I probably should stop calling it this, but I just feel like the last 14, really more, I guess 17, 18 months now, 17 months, has been a season of hard, but, post Kara's accident. And it's like, I'm just so ready for the hard to be over with. I'm just ready to turn back to normalcy. But the reality of that is because of the season of hard, I'm not perfectly there yet, but I'm getting better in demonstrating vulnerability to even Kara. And so that's why when I think about, hey, the true definition, or one of the definitions of love, is when I love someone is that I'm willing to be vulnerable from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. And if I'm willing to be vulnerable, then Kara will also be vulnerable, and that's that partnership relationship that I think both of us early on in our marriage, we didn't know how to communicate. There were a lot of frustrations. We closed them off in our drawers, in our heads, and then just pretended like they didn't exist. And then boom, something, will blow up. I think one of the healthiest things that we did in our marriage is that we got counseling early on to learn how to communicate. And even after that, we weren't perfect at it, but we've been improving as time has gone on. But it's amazing how something like an accident, an illness, really forces you to just say, I'm going to get real. And then I look at that, I'm like, why does it take a cancer diagnosis in this client's case, or Kara's accident in our case, to really move into that next level of love? And I'm glad so long story short, I look at that now and I'm like, I'm not happy that it happened, but I'm glad that we've had this season that came out of really hard. Does that make sense?
It does. I know for us, the way that I thought about it, or the way that I saw it when we were kind of walking through just the health journey, that was that kind of everything is stripped away except your vows. We say our vows, and yes, we mean them when we say them, but we don't really understand what we're saying when we say them. There's no way that we could understand. And so then it's those times when you take, in sickness and in health, for better or for worse, that those actually are kind of like in front of you, and that's what you're actually looking at and deciding, yes, I did mean what I said, and I'm going to mean it today, and I'm going to mean it for as long as that season lasts. So I remember I thought of that last year, and it was, like you said, I wouldn't wish it on you or anybody to struggle with pain or to, have physical ailments, but it's that, God making good out of it that was a sweet season for us. And I feel like it has made our marriage better too, of going through that together.
Yeah, I would say definitely, because it's those hard seasons, it's the seasons of suffering that draw you closer to Christ. It's almost like this horrid, beautiful gift that you get, that you're desperate for Him, and because of marriage, you in a way you become desperate for your spouse too, and it's desperate for Christ through your spouse. And so I think it's interesting that I said love and you said vulnerability, because I think that's what formed this friendship, is that we both you and I went through tough seasons, and you two went through the same season, and we were able to love each other, but we were also able to be vulnerable with each other. And so I think that combination of love and vulnerability creates this level of intimacy that I think is a picture of what it's like with God, and having that intimacy with Him, and the intimacy that He has with Jesus and with the Holy Spirit. And so I think that, when I think about this friendship, those are the things that I think about.
Well, that's so important to have godly relationships, because true godly relationships understand the difference between sympathy and empathy. And that's something that I've really have been processing the last couple of years, is that historically I've been sympathetic. I'm sorry you're going through this. But what typically would happen is I would say, And again, it was just more out of ignorance that I'm sympathetic that something bad is happening, but I normally would then immediately, what our human nature is to do is want to tell our story of some issue that we've had, as if somehow that's going to help. But that's what we do. And that actually pushes people away. Empathy says, I may not know exactly what you're going through, but I'm actually going to get down into this pit that you're in right now, this pit of suffering, and I'm going to be here with you, and I'm going to walk this journey with you. That's what true godly relationships do. And what empathy does, when you're truly empathetic, it's like your heart, both of your hearts are like these magnets, and they just come together and they stick, because it's like, those are my people. And I want to go do life with them. And that's who y'all were for us in that season, is that you weren't just sympathetic, you were empathetic. And that's what drew, I think that when I think about that, our hearts as couples coming together was because of how you got down in the pit with us in that season.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, all right.
Some good stuff.
That is some good stuff. And, I think for our listeners too, that if you're hearing these guys talk and you're thinking, wow, they sound like great husbands. They are, number one, they are great husbands. But number two, it is because they both pursue the Lord on a daily basis, and they're looking to Him to guide their lives and, in turn to guide our marriages. And so if you're maybe in a situation where you don't feel like that's what you have, I would just say, keep pursuing the Lord and keep praying for your husband to pursue the Lord and pursue Him together, and really find yourself another couple that is pursuing the Lord and get into the pit together.
Yeah.
And get moving towards God.
The prayer is huge, I think, and as wives, it's praying and resisting. It's telling God everything we might want to tell our spouse, to do, or how, we wish that they were when it comes to especially those spiritual things. Man, there's nothing better that you can do other than tell the Lord and to let the Lord speak to, and that's just a good marriage tip for, husbands and wives. Right. Talk to the Lord first, let the Lord speak to your spouse. Yeah. About, rather than being the Holy Spirit for each other. That's something that we always remind, don't pastor your spouse. Don't try to be the Holy Spirit to your spouse.
Pastor your wife. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Kara always tells a story of, I guess she read a book, The Power of a Praying Wife. Was that the book you read?
Well, I did read that book. I'm not sure if that's...
This is the story about, when I used to take my clothes off, specifically my socks, I would come home from work and I would put my socks, I would take them off and they would be inside out, and I would put them in the laundry basket. And that drove her crazy.
Inside out clothes in the laundry make me crazy. I need them right side out, because that when they come out the dryer, they're ready to fold.
It's efficient.
Okay.
So she could have said to me, why don't you do this? Why don't you do your socks this way? And that would have been nagging. So what she did is she just took it to the Lord.
I love it.
And just started praying that I would actually do my socks.
Actually, I never prayed that you would turn your socks right side out. What I prayed when I was doing your socks and pulling them out of the dryer, and they were inside out, all of them inside out.
Which meant they weren't clean.
Well, they are clean. Warm water gets through there.
Okay.
They're clean. Okay. They were clean. I mean, he never got toe fungus or anything, so it's fine.
Clean enough.
That we know of. Keep going. Keep going.
I know I would start praying for the Lord to have favor on you.
Yes.
And I just literally prayed for you. I prayed for your business. I prayed for your life. I prayed for everything about you.
While holding the inside out socks.
While folding the inside out socks. And within weeks, I started noticing his socks were right side out.
That's so cool.
And I never said a word, and they've never been inside out since, ever.
And I don't know why.
God.
Well, I know God did, but I'm just it wasn't like I read something on the internet that said you should take your socks off this way. I mean, it was just I'm a researcher by nature, but it just like, I don't know, I just changed, which is not like me. I am a creature of habit.
It's the Holy Spirit.
It's the Holy Spirit. I know.
Jeff,
like
turned your socks.
I know, exactly. It was like the voice of the Lord. That,
I love it.
There we go.
So funny.
The power of a praying wife.
Whatever
With the
works.
socks right.
Whatever.
Look at that. Even better. She wasn't even praying about
I
the
know.
socks, but the socks
I
came
know.
out of it. That's
Yeah.
that's favor for
It was a
you.
benefit. Yeah,
It
that
was.
is favor for me. Oh, that was nice. That was nice of the Lord.
I like it.
So, what does marriage look like for you now versus what you thought it would look like as you were a younger man, not oldish?
Not oldish.
Yeah, this one. So Sarah and I don't have a good model for marriage. The number of divorces in our family is it's insane. Like it's quite insane. We counted it one time and it was just like that's horrible. You know, I love my parents, but we just didn't have a model for marriage. So I don't think I didn't have good expectations coming into it. I don't think I was truly hopeful of like what marriage could look like. I felt like in a season right before I met Sarah, you know, I was like, do I want to be married? Should I be married? No one in my family is good at this. I don't think I'm very good at this. Maybe it's just better not to, you know? And that was a real serious consideration. But I felt like the Lord said, I want to show you what marriage could look like, that my vision for marriage. And so I said, okay, I'll do it. And it was only a few weeks after that I met Sarah. And so it's way better than I could have imagined. God's so good. His vision is so grand that we just, with our human minds, can't really comprehend it. And, you know, even starting out early married didn't seem very hopeful either. You know, we went
We
through,
never experienced that.
and
Our marriage was perfect from day one.
and you know, there was seasons where I'm like, God, you lied.
Yeah, like what did we do?
You got the wrong person. This is just, I don't think this is going to happen. And so, but we both love the Lord and we're like, okay, his ways are higher than our ways. And so we're just going to trust God. We don't have to trust ourselves. We surely can't do this in our own power. So we're just going to seek him and see what happens. And we earnestly sought him rather than trying to fix each other. And we had a real
We
season.
tried that first.
Yeah, we had
Didn't go well.
we had a real season where we spent time where we didn't really act like a married couple, but we were seeking Jesus. And he did this miraculous work. And I remember there was a guy that I was in a men's Bible study with years ago. He was older, and he talked about how amazing his marriage was with his wife. Like the level of intimacy and everything that they had. And I just thought, he's crazy. He's just, you know, he's just saying stuff to look cool, right? You know, sometimes you're in Bible studies and guys just like to one up each other and brag and all that stuff. And I just thought, but I just recently I started, and I think I shared this with you. I thought, I understand what he was talking about. It's like this sweet, it's the vulnerability piece for me is that the key is this level of intimacy that you can get. She knows absolutely everything about me, good, bad. And there is like no separation between us and each other, or the two of us, and us and God. And so, yeah, it's just way, way better than I ever would have thought it was going to be. And so that's why I think we're in the season this year. I mean, we just went through the hardest season of our life, but I think we're enjoying our life more than we've ever enjoyed our life before. We're enjoying each other more than we've ever enjoyed each other before in our marriage and our family. And so for me, that's just God's faithfulness to us, even much more than our faithfulness to each other and to this marriage. It's just been him being faithful to us.
That's good.
That's good. So the word you said was intimacy. And so when I think about in our early days, what I thought intimacy of the physical, that was the biggest part of marriage. Very flawed way of thinking. And you enter into marriage trying to fix each other. And that is a recipe for disaster. And so we fast forward 31 years later, I would say that we have a better understanding, though not perfect, but still improving, is because there's true intimacy there, both of the physical, of the mental, of the spiritual, that all facets of intimacy is greater than what it started out with. And a lot of that has to do with communication, and being, again, I go back to vulnerability, just being willing just to say, which is what's so crazy. It's like the person that you've chosen to spend the rest of your life with, you aren't willing to be vulnerable. It makes no sense when you say it out loud, but that's what we do. It's like we have all of these like flawed things from our childhood and from life and the baggage. We all bring these bags in, and it's like, instead of just like disposing of the bags of the past and purging it and just saying, hey, here it all is, we almost like hide it as like in this form of embarrassment. But the partner that we've chosen to do life with, we should be just say, here it is, and then let's work on these things together. And through that unity and through God's help, you can just really just discard of all of the things and break those generational curses in the name of Jesus that we oftentimes have that are in these bags. And then ultimately, and this is the sad thing, like I'm so grateful for the level of intimacy we have today. If I could do it all over again, I wish we could have discovered these things earlier on in our marriage, and would have had we would have had additional years of this deep intimacy that we have today, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to live like 50 more years.
Exactly.
We've got
Absolutely.
a lot of years
That's
to go.
right.
So what would you say to a husband who his wife is, doing her best to be comfortable, and she's so comfortable and vulnerable, in their home, that she is okay when, she's getting ready or she's doing something, and, maybe a drawer isn't closed all the way, or a door. So you've mentioned drawers a few times today, but we haven't really talked about the topic of, open drawers and open
100%.
doors, and kind of how that equates to vulnerability and,
That's an excellent
This
question,
feels like
Sarah.
a setup.
It's not. No, I receive it. So for the audience, let me explain something here. So Kara and I, we have, ever since this podcast has started, we have been in the midst of a master bathroom remodel. So we had to move out of the master bedroom, and I have what I refer to now as the upstairs loft apartment, which is where it's my dressing room, basically. All my clothes are there. I do have a few pair of shoes. All of your guests have commented on my shoe collection. But it's also y'all's podcast studio.
Yes.
And so for whatever reason, both Sarah and Kara have a tendency to leave doors open and drawers open. Now, Sarah says she's joking, but I come home from podcast recording days up to my upstairs loft apartment dressing room, and I come to find all of my drawers open. All of them.
Really?
And here's the biggest pet peeve. My toilet paper is then turned around
the right way.
For it to flow
The correct way.
Because Sarah uses your bathroom.
So, yes.
The correct way.
It's really creepy. And that Sarah is rummaging through, and I've sent pictures to Paul. Like, please have your wife stop rummaging through my drawers. And so it's become an inside joke. It's funny, ha ha ha. But literally every Wednesday, podcast studio recording days. But here's the great news. Here's the excellent news. They just finished. And so we are like in the home stretch. So I will be vacating the upstairs loft apartment
podcast
studio / guest bedroom, former son's bedroom. I will be able to relinquish all those doors back over to you, and you have fun.
That's good, because we're remodeling the podcast studio come January.
Wonderful. Excellent. With
our sponsorship.
With the sponsorship.
I feel as though I have to apologize to you, Jeff.
Thank you. I
because
appreciate
it all
it.
started because I confessed my frustration with open drawers in my home.
Yes.
And in you trying to be empathetic towards me, now you've become...
I know. I'm in the pit with you.
Well, so everyone understands, Sarah and I both have a habit of leaving drawers and doors open. And it's funny because I think it was last year when the same week we decided about this podcast or started talking about it,
came up.
That it came up, and the guys were talking about how much it makes them crazy that we leave doors and drawers open.
It's also dangerous.
But I will say this.
From
I will
a risk
say, as far as the
perspective.
doors and the lights go, I would say 75% of the time that happens is because I'm not done. I'm in a process. I'm in the middle of a process. I'm going to be going back into the pantry. I'm going to be going back into the bathroom.
Back to the podcast
today.
studio next
and
Wednesday.
so therefore, I have not completely vacated that space. And so some of that is you're just preemptively assuming things are a certain way when we're just not finished with that particular space.
Even
I just
when you left
forget.
the house?
No,
that still counts?
I forget and I just leave them open. I'm just not good at shutting them all the way.
Okay.
You're just going to start praying favor over your life. And then all of a
Oh,
sudden, the Holy
there you go.
Spirit
You
will
just
have you
heard
shut
what
it.
to do.
Yeah,
You
There we
just
go.
heard
The power
what
of
to
a
do.
praying
We'll
Every
pray
time
together
you have to
after
close a
that
drawer,
door
Paul,
finished
you need to
checking.
pray
Yes.
for Sarah.
Yes.
Maybe.
Hey, that's a
that'll
really good
change.
idea. In all seriousness, I think,
I'm going to just leave drawers open
for
more
all of
often,
the
so I'll
men
get more
listeners
prayer.
out there, yes.
How to get your husband to pray for you. Leave all the drawers and doors open.
That's great. Well, as we think about moving forward into New Year, I think I know that one of my resolutions is to start shutting all the drawers. So what are you guys looking forward to in 2026?
Go for it.
Okay, I'll take it. So what y'all have actually done, you've helped me. So I normally come up, normally like late December, early January, I start like focusing in on, and I'm really creative, like core 4 and 24.
Oh,
And
that's true.
And then I had core 5 and 25. Guess what I have this year?
Core
6 and 26. That's why
What did you do in 2020? What was your vision for that year?
I didn't start doing this until 24. Okay. But thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. So here, let me walk through my core 6 and 26. Like I said, very creative person here. And one of them y'all are going to be very familiar with because it was from church last week.
Oh, I was hoping it was
And-
going to be that you wanted to sponsor a podcast.
Okay, we could put that somewhere in here.
I can find
But
some
it's
category.
it's moving from great organization
Yeah.
to kingdom movement. And so let me kind of explain what is great organization. Like when this slide came up, I'm like, high five, I got this one. Like, ooh, I loved it. Clear and compelling vision. And so this could be for business, but this is also can be in your personal life. Like, a clear and compelling vision. I do that really well. I love vision. I'm a pioneer. Let's go to the top of Mount Everest. Let's go crush it. Right people, right roles. That's from Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. Get the right people on the bus, get them in the right seats. I love that. And that's how you can really move an organization forward. Strong culture, effective strategy, excellent execution, constant innovation, favor of God. Like, boom, I love that one. And guess what? Then the next slide went up. And when the next slide went up, this was a kingdom movement. And so as I think about 26, and this kingdom movement is just a divine stirring, just a hunger for Christ, a hunger for Jesus that you just can't extinguish, passionate pursuit, extravagant worship, like really truly beholding Jesus. Like that's something we don't have time for today's podcast. Maybe you can have us back on again, but really breaking down, like what does that mean to behold the beauty of Jesus? Like behold the Lamb of God, like go deep into that. This loving obedience, radical holiness, and then a supernatural outpouring. Like I've been chewing on that all week. And what I have a tendency to do is like I went home after church last Sunday and I hung on that, and I'm like I was going to go speak at an event for the firm, And what I did is I put it through Copilot, which is kind of y'all's version of Kevin that y'all sometimes talk about. But I put it through Copilot, and what was interesting, the outcome, like when you try to take this kingdom movement and try to put it into business terminology, it doesn't work. Right. And the reason being, and what I was struggling with is it's hard for me to go teach that unless you know Jesus.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a kingdom movement, you got to know Jesus.
Sure.
And so I can teach this first one. I can teach a great organization, but I can't teach a kingdom movement if you aren't willing to know Jesus. So that's number one, is move from great organization to a kingdom movement. Number two is I want to find my joy again. In this season of hard, I feel like that I've lost my joy. And one of the things that our pastor, John Stickles, said last week, same message, he said, joy is only found in total surrender. And that like rocked my world. I've been chewing on that all week. Is that, Jeff, if you want to find your joy, the joy's here. Jesus is right here. If you want it, it's total surrender. And that was like, wow. Then this week I was reading in our scripture reading in 2 Chronicles 29, and you have this king Hezekiah. And Hezekiah comes in, he takes over, and it says in the first month of his first year, so he just becomes king. And you think about this, okay, you've just taken over this kingdom, you're pretty young, you probably have a ton of things that you need to do, like move into the castle, move into, there's all this stuff. And what he did is he went and pursued God. That was his first priority. Nothing else. There was no other priority. Nothing was put in front of this. His number one priority was pursuing God. And so that's number 3 for me, is I want to pursue God with everything that I have. Number 4, which was part of Core 4 and 24 and Core 5 and 25, it's a work in progress, is I really want to understand restful movement and embrace restful movement. God made me to move. He made me to create. He made me to build. But how can I do that and be a long burning flame and being able to have restful movement? And I'll give you an example. So for y'all that are watching this, you can't see this, but y'all's mascot, Scout, the dog, is over here sound asleep. And so he has the ability to just bask in the glory of some sunshine rays and get rest. And I look at that as a picture of, that's all Jesus wants us to do, is for me to find rest and comfort and peace in the rays of sunshine that he is putting down on me. But what happens is I get so busy and I say yes to too many things that if I'm going to have true restful movement, then I have to leave margin and say yes to the right yeses. There's a lot of things that I say yes to that aren't bad. They're not sinful. They're good. But the reality is that if it takes the place of me pursuing Jesus or having capacity to say yes to the right things, then ultimately those can become a God, little g, and then in turn it displaces the true and one and only God, the big G. Then number 5, again, been on the last 2 years, still a work in progress. I want to be intentional and stay in the moment. What I have a tendency to do is to be physically present, but to be emotionally distant. And what happens is I'm sitting there, as we started the podcast on Sunday mornings, and I'm sitting there, I'm not really engaging, I'm physically there, but I'm emotionally not oftentimes present because my mind is processing the next day. And I need to let the next day take care of itself, and I need to be able to focus and stay in the moment that God has given me and not thinking about everything else that is to come. That ultimately, if I truly know my true identity as a beloved son, and I truly believe that God has everything under control, he will control tomorrow. I just need to stay in the moment and stay present. And number 6 is just continue to create a future that doesn't exist. That there is always more. There is more in my walk with Christ. There's more in my relationship and intimacy with my wife. There is more in creating the future in my business as well. And so I just want to continue, as Paul mentioned, as an old man at the age of 55, I want to continue to dream dreams and go into create something that God is just giving me, that is not in the necessarily the here or the now or in the seen. I want to go create something that's of the unseen, but yet God can see it.
Awesome.
That's
Love
good.
it.
That's great.
Babe,
Paul,
you have your
where's your note card?
Paul, I tried to let you go first. I was nodding. Paul, go.
Well, you'll laugh
Go.
because that's why we're friends, because we share many of the same, dreams and visions for this year to come. Joy is definitely one of mine. It's been the one that, for the years that don't know, Sarah wrote a book, Journey to Joy, when we went through a tough season with her. And so joy's always been this theme of like something in our family that I think we're supposed to have, but we don't really have all the time. And so I think we've done better this year of really experiencing the joy of the Lord, in his presence is fullness of joy. And so I'm trying to learn how to spend time in his presence, surrender and seeking. For me, I use the word beholding. It's something it's a word we've been meditating on in our church, and it's, you all know, I spent the summer really just spent 2 months of just beholding God. So I'm a very regimented, structured person. I like discipline. I'm very naturally self-disciplined. I love to get up in the morning and engage the scriptures and have a structured reading plan and get revelation and write notes and do all that stuff. And I just felt like the Lord said, I want you to put all that aside and I just want you to be with me. Mm-hmm. And it was so hard to just sit. And so many times I felt like he didn't want me to talk. Mm-hmm. And he's like, just be with me. Mm-hmm. Behold me and let me hold you. And so I just want to continue in that. Mm-hmm. I think that's what leads to the kingdom movement piece, because that's very much what I'm going after. Mm-hmm. Good organization. I feel like I'm at a point in my life now with business and everything else. It's like good organization should just be, we shouldn't have to talk about it at this point. Mm-hmm. And so I really feel like I don't want to talk about it anymore, because it's like I want to be a kingdom movement. I want to be completely spirit-led. I want to be in his presence. I want to hear from God. I want to talk to God. I want to know God, and I want him to know me. And so just diving into that, but joy is a big one. I think one of the things we did before our church, before summer break, just the expression of being a person of love. Mm-hmm. So it's like those two fruit of the Spirit, the first two, love and joy. And that's really, I think those are the two that I feel like God's been speaking to me the most, is I want to grow in love and I want to grow in joy. Mm-hmm. And just continue to experience him more in deeper levels. And I think if I can do that, if I can become a person of love and a person of joy, I think everything else just kind of falls into place. And, like you said, just not worrying about tomorrow and being present in today. That's very much a thing that I struggle with. Is like when you run a business, you're always thinking, right? It's think. I got to plan, I got to organize, I got to rally the troops, I got to move them forward. It's all about leadership. But it's not. If I trust the Lord and that he's ordering my steps, then why can't I just be present? Mm-hmm. And so, especially just in marriage and just being present with her, mm-hmm. being excited for her, being eager to hear what she has to say, being eager to, what she's been doing. And so, I think just more of that. And I honestly, one of the things I'm looking forward to in 2025 is just you two, just growing closer to you two. So mm-hmm. you guys are super special to us. And so we're very grateful for you. And so just what the Lord has in that, because we're both going in the same direction, mm-hmm. yeah. But I'm grateful and excited that we get to do it together. So I'm just looking forward to what that's going to look like mm-hmm. too.
Let me pull that string on the joy for just a second. This is something yesterday in our we call Bible studies at our church circles, and in my circle yesterday we were talking about where our pastor had used this story, or kind of this analogy of of like, here's Jesus, and Jesus is just wanting to give us this big hug. And what we do is we're like the little toddler that's like wanting to, hold on to all of our toys, and we're holding all of our toys, and we really can't fully feel the embrace of Christ. And it's like it's surrendering, it's leaving those toys. And I pulled the string and a little bit further, and I said, actually, let me tell you what my granddaughter does, Lacey Hope Price. What Lacey does is Lacey, her two favorite toys, one is EE, that's her blanket, and then her other one is Clip Clop. Now, Clip Clop is a stuffed animal that's a horse. And those are her two favorite things in her life. And what she does is she will actually, when I walk in the door, is she picks up her EE and Clip Clop, and she runs to me, paw, 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 and then she hands them to me. And then we're able to embrace. And the picture that I have there is what Jesus is wanting us to do, is he's wanting to hug us, absolutely. But he's wanting us to say, hey, here's everything. I trust you that you can take it and do with it total surrender. It is yours. I fully trust you. I want your full embrace. And as a good father, like a good grandfather, I give them back to her. But she has such trust and faith in me of my goodness that she's willing to give those things to me. And I think about that when I think about the joy of the Lord and total surrender, that's the picture that comes to mind, is to take my most valuable things, my family, just everything, the business, everything, and just say, Jesus, it's yours. You have it all, because I just want the joy of the Lord.
Love it.
That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, as we encourage everyone every week to go enjoy the life that God gave them, I think we're all going to go enjoy our lives together and have some dinner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Well, we will see and talk to everyone next week. Thank you guys so much for being on.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
When are we coming back?
We'll have to see what the people want.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to put up an Instagram post. Bring the guys back. Click 1. Don't bring them back.
Right.
Click number 2.
Podcast.
There we go.
We'll wait for all the DMs and emails to come flowing in.
Gonna-
We are doing a planning retreat in January
Yes.
for our 2026 podcast schedule. So we'll see if you make a second appearance.
Yeah, we could probably do this on a quarterly basis. I've got a lot of material.
You're going to have to really become a triple platinum sponsor for that.
Yes.
Okay,
Well, thank y'all for having us today.
Yes,
We really
thank
appreciate
you.
y'all. We celebrate y'all and are excited just to see how y'all are living out the dream that God has given y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
good.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for spending time with us today on That's Why We're Friends.
We hope you laughed, felt encouraged, and are walking away with a little more hope for your day.
If you love this episode, make sure to follow the podcast so you never miss what's next.
And share it with a friend who needs a little encouragement, because that's why we're friends.
Some products or services we mention may be paid promotions. Any advice shared should be confirmed with a qualified professional. Our conversations and opinions are meant for encouragement and entertainment only.